right, so you're here to learn about how to leverage incrementality in the affiliate channel. My name is Todd Crawford. I'm a co-founder at Impact Radius. We're a marketing technology company. Probably for Affiliate Summit attendees, we're best known for our affiliate tracking platform, which we call Partner Manager, but we also have other products, one called Media Manager that helps advertisers do what you do with affiliate and be able to manage other marketing channels so they can get more of a comprehensive view of all of their marketing channels, including affiliate. And then we also provide a lot of data around that, including attribution. I've been in the industry since 1998. I was one of the co-founders at Commission Junction. So fortunately, I've been there and seen it all, so we'll see where we go with this. The one thing when it comes to incrementality is, the concept I guess I first want to get across is that despite appearances, no two conversions are the same, right? We could have two $100 conversions, and there's always going to be something about them that makes them more valuable to our business. And so as marketers, we really need to uncover, what makes them different and which of them is most valuable to our business. And that's really the key here, as opposed to looking at the affiliate and looking at their business model and the revenue that they're driving. We really need to be looking at the conversions and where we are getting value from those conversions and where they align to the channel as a whole, or any marketing channel for that matter, and in particular, specific affiliates. So kind of setting the stage here, the term incrementality, it's coming up more and more in discussions, but it's kind of one of those like, I think I know what that word means, or if I asked all of you right now to write your definition and somehow I could quickly get them all up here and get them into slides, we'd probably get slightly different and some very different answers. It is somewhat subjective, and it's really specific to your business. We could be fierce competitors as retailers, but we have internal goals that are different, right? One of us is focused more on new customer acquisition. One of us is focused on, growing in the mobile channel. Both of us could be looking at both of those. So it's really important that as we try to understand what incrementality means, that we're able to figure that out and then use that data to help grow the channel and make it as healthy as possible. So the first thing I want to do is, advance to the next slide, is introduce our panelists. I'll let them do the introductions. I want you to also not just know who they are and what they do, but a little bit about their companies. I think it's pretty interesting. We've got some, I think historically when you see agencies up here presenting, there are a lot of the usual suspects, the OPMs, and these are digital agencies that have very strong affiliate marketing division. So I really wanted to have them as part of this panel to kind of give you guys another perspective from the industry. So we'll start with Courtney.
Hi, Courtney Pearson. I've been in the affiliate industry. When you said 2002, I was thinking when I started. 2007. Spent time at Google Affiliate Network, when there was a Google Affiliate Network. Spent time running the Sears affiliate program, and now I am at Ovative Group. Ovative Group was founded by Dale Nitschke, the former president of Target, and we're founded on kind of solving digital challenges through measurement and activation. And we launched an affiliate division to really kind of meet a need we saw in the market, partnering the measurement and the analytics with the affiliate marketing relationship-based program management style. We are a full house digital agency, SEO, SEM, paid social, display, retargeting, and then we also have the affiliate option.
Great. Steve?
Steve Tazic. I am the Director of Media for Rise Interactive. I've been there about 3 years. My previous side of the career was spent on the advertiser side. I ran the e-commerce business for Apt Electronics for about 5 years before that, and some other retailers before that. Rise Interactive is a full-service digital marketing agency. Analytics is at our core. We have this interactive investment management philosophy, which basically means we want to use all the data that we have available to us and be able to quickly shift budget to the best performing tactics and channels. And we're really trying to take that a step further, where every channel that we're running, be it paid search, SEO, display, affiliate, we're leveraging the data from those channels to make better decisions for the other channels. So if there's keywords that are ranking organically, say on the second page, we're using that data to figure out, where we should be spending our paid search budgets or targeting display contextually. So affiliate marketing is a big piece of this, and we've partnered with Impact Radius for going on almost 3 years now, and we're really excited about the technology that we'll share with you today.
All right, thanks. Chris?
I'm Chris Weston. I work at Cabela's. I've been there for about 2 years. Before that, I was at Harry & David, and then before that, Netflix. I've been in the industry for about 7, 8 years. If you don't know who or what Cabela's is, we're an outdoor retailer. We sell outdoor recreational equipment. Awesome company to work for. And just a quick plug, I'm the affiliate manager, and we are currently trying to hire someone under me as an affiliate program manager. So if anyone out there is interested, please hit me up after. I'd love to have you on our team. And don't judge me based on the comments I make during this discussion. Maybe let's have a discussion after that, because I could probably sound a lot more intelligent then.
All right, Chris. So when we think about the evolving metrics, one of the things, when I think back to 1998 or the early days when I got involved in affiliate marketing, there wasn't even a lot of data out there. The marketing efforts that advertisers were doing were not very complex. I mean, paid search didn't exist, social media didn't exist. You had display and affiliate, was really, and I guess SEO. So as everything has become more complex, not only is there more moving pieces and obviously more spend going online, but there's more metrics, and that's really key here to look at kind of, if you're an affiliate manager today and you log into your affiliate network and you want to see a report on by the affiliate level, it's probably going to sort by the revenue to you if you're a retailer, right, or the payouts. So it's always kind of this revenue-based, my top affiliate, drove $1 million in sales last week. And that's certainly a very important metric. It's important to your business. But if you think about all of the other metrics that you can add to your perspective on this data, it becomes much richer. And what you're able to do is not say, well, I'm going to have kind of a perspective on coupon and deal, and a perspective on loyalty, and a perspective on bloggers. That's going to kind of one-size-fits-all approach. You're able to actually look at individual metrics around each of those affiliates and decide, where you're getting incrementality. And this is just a few examples of some of the incrementality that I like and hear about. Obviously, margin. If we have 2 equal $100 sales, and one just is more profitable from a margin and the costs stay the same, that's a more valuable sale to the business. Likewise, when you think of new to file, if you get a new customer, same $100 orders, one is more valuable. When you start doing attribution modeling, you're going to, you may be looking at your affiliate data and that shows one picture. Now all of a sudden the company or your team is looking at attributed modeling. It's going to shift the values of all the channels, and in particular the affiliates. And so that also can change how you're looking at, is this affiliate more valuable or less valuable? Of course, AOV, lifetime value, return on investment, all of these things can impact how you look at an individual affiliate and how you work with them. I think, when you kind of start to, what I really want to have happen today is all of us may walk away with different ideas about what's going to be incremental to us, or disagree about that one thing being incremental or how we're defining it. But giving us a common framework, a common base of information to think about this and start to evolve it and work with it is key. And as I said earlier, if I asked all of you, what's your definition of incrementality? I know I'm not going to get identical answers. And there's other terms out there, even new to file, different companies measure those differently, right? Some say if the customer bought for me but hasn't bought for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months and they buy again, they're a new customer. So again, these definitions aren't etched in stone. You talk to companies and agencies about defining lifetime value, that can go on forever, right? It's a very nebulous thing what lifetime value is to some companies. And another thing that I just want to talk about is this idea of unique conversions, and then we'll really get into the questions here. But most of us, if we're affiliate managers, this is a very common view. This affiliate sent me a click 1 day ago, and a conversion happened, and he got credit. And that's great. I see I have an affiliate that's driving conversions. The challenge for affiliate managers is most affiliate platforms are giving you a siloed view of the data, meaning you just see this affiliate won. You may not even see that there was another affiliate that was involved as well but didn't win, or even more importantly, that there are other channels involved. And so when you're looking at this, I was talking to somebody earlier today about the difference between having a multi-channel view of the affiliate interactions and a more siloed view. And I think of it as like trying to drive a car looking through a straw. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm going to be all right. You probably might want to get off the roads, but I'm not going to have the same perspective as if I take that straw away and can look through my windshield, see my mirrors, look over my shoulders, see all the cars behind me, passing me, coming from the left, the right, and towards me. Gives you a much more comforting view of what you've got to navigate ahead of you. And so even though this is probably the most common view for an affiliate manager, this is actually the more realistic view. This is data right out of our system, so I'm not making this up. But here we have this affiliate that sent that click a day ago, and so let's just pretend it's a $100 sale and we're paying them 10%. So as an affiliate manager, I know I had a $10 cost. But as you can see, I have some paid search and some remarketing costs that are also included in this. So actually, this was a more expensive investment for this sale than I would know looking just in that kind of siloed intra-affiliate view. The other thing that's important to understand is that when this affiliate wins this 10% commission, these costs are always going to be there. But if this affiliate wasn't here at the end, but was just here, that cost doesn't exist. And so as affiliate marketers, if I could show you, if I could demonstrate, hey, we had an affiliate that drove $1 million in sales last week. They also participated in $500,000 in sales, and we didn't pay them a penny for it. They were in the click path. They were in that path to conversion very often, but we didn't have to pay them because some other media won out. I think these are interesting perspectives when we're trying to kind of really size up what are the affiliates providing. But getting back to unique conversions, this is an example of not a unique conversion. So let me give you an example of a unique conversion. If that same picture were really just this, meaning no other channels and no other affiliates were involved when that consumer made a decision to click and buy over time. That means if I get 1,000 conversions from an affiliate in a month and 500 of them are unique, what that tells me is that my business, my company, cannot get access to those customers and those conversions except through that affiliate or except through that media channel as I'm analyzing this. Obviously, the higher the percentage, the more valuable. Even if they're not my top affiliate, if I'm getting more unique conversions from them, it's lower cost and I'm reaching customers I can't reach anywhere else. I can't spend more money anywhere else to touch that customer. So I think that's an important thing to think about, these what I call unique conversions. And then lastly, there's a lot of challenges internally for you guys. If I'm managing the paid search and you're all the affiliate managers at our company, at the end of the day, I want as many conversions credited to my channel as you do. And there's probably a high percentage, a good chance that some of the conversions I think I got credit for paid search, you got credit for your affiliate channel. And so, obviously, in a meeting, I still feel very, very strongly that I should get all those credits, and you probably feel very strongly you should. So there's a lot of politics, I guess you could call it. I hear people use this example all the time. There's 5 of us managing marketing channels. We all go in a meeting. We each claim $1 million last month in revenue, and our boss goes, "But we only had $4 million, right?" So there's some overlap here, and nobody wants to give up any of their attributed revenue. There's also a lot of disparate data within a company. If you're logging into your affiliate program and looking at the revenues for a month, I'm your boss. I'm looking at some analytics and internal databases that we have. The search team has their measurement tool, display. We have an analyst that pulls together data. It's very unlikely that those all match 100%. And certainly, one of them will favor one channel over the other. So you want to obviously get the team on the same page looking at the same data. Something that's going to start coming up, I'm calling 2016 the year of cross-device. You heard it here first. I hope you're. When you think about cross-channel, once you have that perspective, you don't want to walk away from it, right? Now that you can see the interaction across channel. The average consumer in America has 4 internet-connected devices. It's not uncommon for me to get an email from somebody I've bought from before, see a really good offer, click on it, look through what I can buy, put my phone back in my pocket, go home, get on my iPad, research those products, if that's where I'm going to buy them, possibly clicking on an affiliate link, and then go back to work the next day and go on my laptop, do a direct type in and buy. For most of us in this room, those dots cannot get connected. So more and more companies are going to start implementing cross-device tracking, and this is really, really, really critical. Again, once you see cross-channel, and then you don't want to go away from that. Once you see cross-device, you're never going to want to walk away from that because it completes the picture and it correctly credits conversions that were happening that maybe would have got credited to organic or direct type in, right? Direct traffic. And then lastly, if your company's doing attribution models, it's going to shift credit around. And so you need to make sure that those attribution models are ask questions about them, because a lot of times they're black box, algorithmic, or you're not privy to the logic, the models that they're building, how they built them. It's important to understand that because it can be very, very confusing. And these are some of the most common challenges, and we were talking about this before, that we have to deal with when we're working with advertisers to try to make this kind of all come together. So let's go ahead and start talking to the panel here. I think, what I'd like to start with you, Courtney, is, for your when you guys are working with advertisers, what's your approach to introducing incrementality, and how do you go about that, helping them define what incrementality is?
So I think it comes down to the overall company's goals. Are they a new company and looking to acquire new customers? Are they a mature retailer and maybe we have to grow AOV? And then drilling down by publisher and understanding the value. And we've really found that showing the data is better than just talking about the data. Showing them that X amount of publishers are driving this amount of new customers, or this certain type of publisher is increasing AOV and that's driving the incrementality. And then mobile is another one too, are they mobile savvy and mobile enabled, and having that discussion with them to outline their goals and then create the affiliate program for them.
Right. One of the things that I like about agencies' perspective on this data when they're working with advertisers is that they do have challenges that other multiple clients are trying to solve. So that I always think that they can kind of short shift solving problems or getting you ideas. And the other role that I see agencies doing is just introducing data that maybe the client's not used to looking at when they're used to measuring their business one way. The agency can give them a new perspective on that. Now, Chris, you manage your affiliate program in-house. What are you doing in kind of incrementality? What are you looking at? What data is important to you? How are you doing it without working with an agency?
Well, so we do actually work with an agency. They help support us, but we have it in-house also, so it's kind of a dual approach. But it really is a difficult, just to be completely candid, this is not an easy conversation to have at all. Yes, it's kind of a buzzword and has been for a while, incrementality, and we know it's important, but trying to figure out, well, what does that mean to me as the advertiser? I think I've just seen things shift where, affiliate marketing used to be almost strictly based on kind of gut. Like, you feel like it's going to work, and so you do it. There really wasn't a whole lot of data to confirm what you were doing or to confirm what you were doing was working. And now we've transitioned to a point to where we have so much data that we're trying to just use the data. And I think where we really need to get is the next step, which is we're kind of blending the data with your gut feeling. So you're understanding like the full picture as opposed to just saying, okay, the data's saying this because and I've gotten stuck in this where I'm just looking at the data, I'm trying to understand it, I'm trying to interpret it, trying to determine what's incremental, and the data's not going to get you there. It will get you pretty close, but you can't just use data to make your decisions. You have to have that blended with kind of your gut feeling and kind of what's been working in the past. So that's really been a huge focus for me. It's just making sure that, yes, incrementality is important, but making sure that I'm not just using all this data because we have so much data. I'm using the data mixed with kind of just intuition to make smart and intelligent decisions.
Now, when you do have cross-channel insight, so you can see more of the one that I showed that had all the data in it.
Oh yeah. So not to neglect the data in any way here. It's definitely the days of old where affiliate marketing just operates in their own little silo where we pretend like we're the only ones that are driving sales. When we look at our third-party data and we say, okay, affiliate made $1 million, when in reality maybe we only contributed to 25,000 or something like that. We definitely are needing, and we do look at, okay, affiliates in the click stream, but who else is there, and who else is contributing? We've been with Impact Radius for about 1.5 years now, and they've really helped us identify. It's really 3 different sections of the click stream. You've got an introducer, an influencer, and a closer, and so it's really just, okay, as we understand that, where is the affiliate program contributing within that click stream? And where is it relative to other channels, and how are they helping contribute to that experience? So yeah, I mean, it's a big mess, I would say, but Impact Radius definitely has helped us to understand that mess a little more, and then make those smart decisions based on the data that we have.
Well, I think what you're struggling with, as a lot of marketers do, is suddenly as you get access to more data, you're talking about your gut feeling. It's almost like the interpretation of this data. The data in and of itself isn't the answer. It's how you interpret it or apply it to your business that gives you kind of guidance as to what you should do. So Steve, when you're talking with clients, what are the challenges? We talked about some of the challenges internally there. How is it being the agency? Because most agencies don't control all of their media, right? I mean, that's ideal. That's your business model, but you usually are sharing it. So how do you get incrementality, in particular, dealing with cross-channel, overlap? How do you work with a client to help them understand that value and get them to look at that data maybe differently? Because sometimes this is new to them.
Yeah, it's definitely new to a lot of our clients. The one advantage of an agency is we can see what different advertisers are doing across our whole client roster. So a lot of clients are stuck in a siloed approach, and it's our job to help them, push them into other more sophisticated ways at looking at the data. One of our CEOs quotes, what he always says is, difficult is good, right? Because if it's difficult, not everybody's going to be able to do it. So if we're pushing our clients to do the actual difficult and help them understand all this data, then they're going to have an edge over all other competitors.
Yeah, and I always say, especially if you're a retailer, everybody's competing against Amazon, and so anything you can do to give you an advantage is going to help you in that battle. When you're working with clients, I mean, how open are they to these new perspectives of the data? As an agency, you're trying to give them literally almost a completely different view of the data. Are they accepting of it? Is there tension or contention amongst the paid search or the?
No, it's different for every client. Some clients are all bought in and they want to participate and they want to take advantage of all the new technologies out there that help us understand the data. Some clients are just old and antiquated, where they only want to look in silos. Like, we have some clients that we work with a channel manager of that client, and their budget is tied to how well they do. So of course they're going to want to look at it in a silo and try and claim credit for the most revenue that they touched, or like you were explaining earlier. But it's our job to get them out of that mindset, and some advertisers are more receptive to that than others. I'm curious, in the room, what's the makeup? How many advertisers are out there? Any? We got 5.
And how many are agencies that manage programs?
Any publishers?
Yeah.
There they are.
So, Chris, how does the marketing organization at Cabela's look? I mean, you do leverage an agency resource to support the affiliate channel. Are all your other marketing channels in-house, or are you leveraging agencies to do paid search or display or anything?
It's kind of a mixed bag. Paid search, it was just internal, but as of late, we went back to an agency. Our display team is kind of a blended. We have a little bit in-house and a little bit of agency support. Comparison shopping engines is agency. Trying to think, social. We're kind of leveraging a lot of a blended approach in each one of those, where we have enough support internally that we can handle a lot of the workload, but then anything we don't want to do, we just throw to the agency.
So when you guys come together to look at the data, what data are you looking at? Is it each team brings their own data to an analyst and that person puts it into a spreadsheet, or are you using one analytics package, or how do you guys kind of sit around a table as a team and agree that this is what I did, this is what you did? Challenges around that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. There's a lot of challenges. I would say in the near term, or in the short term, we're all just coming with our own like third-party data for the most part. We do have our first party, which kind of, it has its challenges because it's only looking at it from a very, I would say, obviously, an incorrect perspective, because it's not giving a whole lot of credit to our last click, which, I mean, that's affiliate, so my sales aren't looking as good as I want them to, for the most part. But we have a very sophisticated data analytics team who they do, on a quarterly basis, they'll look at kind of, they do their own attribution models to determine, okay, who actually deserved the sell. And it's a really complex algorithm to determine who and when and why should get credit for each one of the
So
cells.
is it kind of a secret? You don't really have full understanding of how they come up with that? Is it different? Do they change it over time too? I mean, they must be, right?
They do change it, yeah. It is something that they're constantly retooling. I'm currently in the process of trying to get them to retool it so that they're giving a higher value to affiliate marketing, because, again, like I said, I feel like they're not really giving them the full credit that they deserve in their model. But I think that's kind of how things have to be. It's got to be, I don't think you're ever just going to be able to check that off your list and say, okay, we're done with attribution. We understand who should get credit and when. It's an ever evolving, and it's going to be, okay, I'm not getting a whole lot of credit, so now I'm going to go whine, and they're going to adjust it. And then paid search is going to say, well, wait a second, my sales are down because the affiliate just stole some of mine. I don't see an end to this conversation. But I think it should be just an ever evolving, where you're continually tweaking it until you get to a point to where you feel like that's a true reflection of what actually happened and who deserves the credit.
So in an ideal world, and maybe in some rare circumstances you guys see this, where you have good incrementality metrics, apples to apples to apples across all channels, how do you see affiliate typically stacking up? Do you see any trends or consistency where maybe, affiliates doesn't have to be the biggest channel, like from a revenue perspective, but maybe for the more other important metrics that the clients are looking to measure, how is affiliate performing against other channels? What do you think, Courtney?
Well, I think you have to drill down into by publisher classification
Right.
too. You can't just say affiliate in general.
Sure.
So different types of publishers are seeing different how you define incrementality. So new customers, AOV, et cetera. We're seeing coupon and deal sites in the affiliate channel stacking up really well for new customer acquisition. And that's something that we're kind of leading with. How many times have we heard like coupon sites are just cannibalizing affiliate marketing, they're stealing revenue, it's not incremental. Then you dig deeper into that and you see the actual role that a publisher and affiliate plays in that. Loyalty and rewards, you can kind of do a lot with how, when you start to see the data, you can start to actually help publishers kind of prove their incrementality a little more. If you don't tell them what you're trying to do, they're not going to do it, right? So if you're wanting to increase the basket size of your current customers, playing with the AOV threshold a little bit on certain publisher sites, leaning into coupon sites or deal sites when you're looking for new customer acquisition is how you define incrementality.
So, but in general, do you see, let's just take like the top 10 affiliates, which in and of themselves usually stand out pretty strong, and then you could compare them to other channels. When it comes to those measurements that the client's looking at, are they adding more value than other channels?
So it depends on the client. It depends at the maturity of the program as well. I think the channels are being perceived as driving incremental value, or else we'd be getting a lot more pushback on the channel.
What are you seeing?
We definitely, affiliate's a huge part of all of our clients' programs, and, it's understanding of that data and being able to analyze it. And, we really find success when the publishers are willing to work with our advertisers in, maybe some non-traditional ways. So adjusting commission based on part of that incrementality. So we've implemented some agreements with publishers where we're paying them a much higher commission for new customers versus existing. And, it's those publishers that are willing to work. Their success is going to be on the advertiser's success, because as this technology evolves and it's going to be easier and easier to really understand all the data, if you're looking at it in this old, antiquated, sort of siloed way, then their program's going to fall apart and they're just going to walk away. So publishers have to be, they have to adapt and really be part of, some of these new ways to get paid out when the client truly sees incrementality.
It can be an uncomfortable conversation to have,
Sure.
too.
Well, here's another one that I hear a lot. I hear advertisers say, well, if we didn't work with these coupon sites or this one coupon site, we'd get that sale anyway, which is an impossible thing to really measure. Right?
Right.
I mean, you can't measure something that doesn't happen. But how do you deal with that when it comes up?
With the publisher?
Well, with the advertiser, because the advertiser's saying, we maybe don't value this. We've heard, or we think, we have a gut feeling that we would have got those sales anyway. So maybe we don't value a coupon or a loyalty affiliate as much as we used to before we came up with this idea that we would get those sales anyway. How do you, what's your tactic for addressing that with incrementality and other metrics?
So for us, and to plug Impact Radius, it's using technology like Media Manager, where we can present that data in the story. So the slide he had where the one conversion had 30 different touch points, that's how we have the conversation. And before on some different networks that we were using, we couldn't tell that story. It was pretty impossible unless they, a client had like an advanced attribution partner before, which that's debatable, the value of how well those were, because we've worked with companies like Odometry in the past. This is years ago, but it would take them basically 30 days to process the data, and then you could make a decision 30 days later. So these newer technologies like Impact Radius's Media Manager help us see that data in real time and enable us to have those conversations.
Just on the other side of that, as you're looking into the path to purchase and the incrementality of certain publishers, you may find that a publisher is not incremental, that they're not adding value to your program, and you can shift the dollars to someone that is and work with the publisher that is driving that incremental revenue.
So this brings up a good point. Like, what do you talk about to the publisher? Because I've seen advertisers just arbitrarily change commission rates with not much communication to the publishers. Because like you can hear it from them. They're not happy. Like, why did my commission rate get cut in half? What can you use this? How can advertisers better use this data to have the conversation first and make the change later, right? As opposed to just.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
affiliate was built on relationships. When you think of affiliate marketing, you think of a relationship-based industry, and that's still kind of the basis of how you have these conversations. Having the data plays a big part in that, so being able to look in Media Manager and look in Partner Manager and kind of present them and be transparent and candid, it's building that mutually beneficial relationship and giving them the tools then to actually drive change. So it's one thing to say you're not incremental, you're not driving new customers, you're not this, and this, but if you're not giving them the tools to change that, and you just cancel the relationship or deactivate them, you're going to ruin that relationship for the long term. So it's giving them the tools, showing them the data, and being transparent, I think is what kind of helps to have that conversation.
I agree. Transparency is crucial to keep these relationships with publishers, and the more data that we can give the publishers, the better decisions they can make in their own marketing. They're spending a lot of money driving traffic to their sites, and if we can give them the data to show that the traffic that they're driving isn't incremental, then they can shift what they're doing to become a better publisher and refer, better traffic.
On the opposite side, they're going to get turned off if they don't work with you in one way or another, right?
Definitely.
So it's, hey, work with me, let's try to figure this out, or we may not be able to work with you in the future. So in most cases, they will choose, let me try to work with you on that.
Well, the other thing I see when I talk to a lot, especially the larger publishers, because they're very data hungry. They have the team internally that is trying to understand how their business is driving value to their clients. And they don't get to see everything. So having these conversations with advertisers who have more data like this, right? Or where you can say, look, coupon site A and loyalty site B, you guys almost always swap positions in this chain. Like if I see you both in there, one time one of you wins, one time the other wins. So there's, letting them understand what other affiliates are involved in the conversion path when they're winning and when they're not winning. Even like down to like the percentages, 40% of the time you don't win when Ebates is involved, and Ebates you win, 60% of the time when this other company's involved. That helps them get a better picture of what's going on. And then when you talk about the incrementality metrics, what they're doing well, where maybe they're pulling down some numbers that you need to fix, they've heard this story, they've heard this information, these problems from other advertisers, and they've probably worked with them to solve it. So bringing it up, they might say, well, we can do this, or we might better try that, and that should help adjust it, and we'll do it, and then we'll test it. So Chris, just out of curiosity, what's your and Cabela's perspective on the coupon and loyalty space?
That's a really good question. It's a mixed perspective. I mean, Cabela's, internally, I think it's a really tough conversation, because you're trying to tap into consumer intent. The whole question of would they have purchased without a coupon. I think it's a flawed argument to begin with, because how are you going to tap into that actual consumer's intent anyways, to be able to determine if they would have bought with or without?
Psychics. You gotta hire more
exactly.
psychics.
So we're working on hiring those guys. But no, I think what does make it easier, though, is when we're able to present the data. Utilizing in this case would be like the media manager, where we're from Impact Radius to really help present them with scenarios where we feel like maybe the end of the funnel, maybe this last click coupon publisher did actually drive some sort of value to the program. So it's really just diving into it on a case-by-case basis to determine whether or not it was beneficial for Cabela's as a company.
So one of the other things that I think is important when you get all this data and you have access to it, not only can you help champion the channel, like here's what we do great in affiliate, here's what specific affiliates are doing great, but you can also use this to defend the channel when potentially you get a new CMO or a new VP of marketing who comes in and says, hey, the last job I had, we canceled, we got rid of affiliate, and we never missed a beat, right? You're like, oh, I gotta try to get in front of that guy maybe, get him some data, help him understand things, answer some of his questions, address some of his concerns. But if you don't have the data, or you're in that meeting and that person asks you a tough question and you're like, I don't know, but maybe I can get back to you on that, you don't want to be in that position, right? You want to know this data inside and out. You want to know the program as well as the individual publishers. And where else I see these incremental metrics is most of us focus on the top 10, 20, 30, maybe 50 publishers. To be honest, I've talked to probably every advertiser in the industry under NDA in trying to earn their business or having them as clients. And it's rare that there's any advertiser out there that has more than 20 to 50 publishers that are driving 95% of the business. So the concept that there's 10,000 affiliates that are contributing to the channel, you may have 10,000 affiliates join your program, but there's a very long tail that does very little. And it's those partners that most people focus on. But that middle tier can be adding a lot of incrementality and not even getting paid for it. If we go back to the subway map here, this affiliate, these might not be the same two affiliates. So this first affiliate at 11 days could be a blogger. And they rarely ever win because maybe, it is a coupon site that's out there. I've seen advertisers start to work with these bloggers on a CPC basis because they do value the content that they're producing and the traffic that they're driving and the role that they're playing in this final conversion actually happening, whether an affiliate is credited with it or not. So there's a lot of other ways to structure compensation and deals to encourage this kind of middle tier that is driving incremental value, maybe more new customers, maybe better margin products, whatever it is, but they're not the top revenue drivers. But again, it shifts the value of the whole channel up when it comes to incrementality.
Yeah, so just to go back to coupon affiliates that you work with. One thing, again, we don't know whether or not they're driving value, but what we can focus on is what we do know. We do know their AOV. And so we can go back and actually structure something to say, well, we knew they were going to spend this, so let's set up offers that actually push them to a higher AOV. So introducing thresholds where it's spend or get free shipping on orders over 99 when their AOV is typically 89. So there are tools that you can do to actually help prove out the incrementality. It's just trying to get creative with it a little bit.
All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the takeaways here before we maybe get into some questions. You know, if you're kind of thinking about this now and you don't really have access to this data, I mean, like I said, it's kind of one of these things like I already got a job and it's hard enough and I gotta just go and back to my desk after taking off from this conference and probably just keep doing what I was doing. I don't blame you. You're probably not gonna get paid more for really tackling incrementality. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a way to start to creep into this. And the first is just to try to figure out, you know, what is incrementality to our business? And maybe you don't know that or nobody else knows that in the company and it's not something you can go and ask and someone's gonna go, I'll tell you what it is. But you might be able to start just even on your own saying, I'm gonna call this incremental. It's just gonna be incremental to me right now, right? The whole company doesn't know about it. It's a secret project you're working on. And maybe you're able to get that data into your affiliate analysis that you're doing. That's going to start giving you that perspective where you can start to sit there and demonstrate internally and have conversations with your publishers about where you're seeing more incrementality and less. I think that's really key. The other thing that I urge everyone to do is not to make changes to partnerships without having conversations. It really frustrates affiliates. You go on any message board out there, and that's probably one of the most frustrating things is that my commission just changed and there's not really any clear communication as to why. And even a brief email doesn't really paint the picture. And taking the time to talk to them, even though you would have adjusted their commission down, let's say, after having a conversation, you might say, well, all right, let's keep it at the same for another month or two and see, now that you know what I'm talking about, we can maybe do something about that. So I think it's really key to share your findings with your publishers and your concerns or what's really working well. Because they really want to know that. They're data hungry too. And there's some advertisers that really share great data with their publishers, and together they do a lot more with it. So it's just another thing to consider. And then again, optimizing the partnerships based on data, not what you heard at this conference or this panel or, you know, your buddy that works at another company said he's doing. You know, that's valuable information. It's certainly good perspectives, but data is really what's going to do it. And also, you know, your business has its own needs, right? Its own way of looking at things. You know, if you went to REI, you probably would, it'd be a different culture, it'd be a different organization, and they might have different goals. You know, it's going to be different within a company, even though it seems like the same business model. So really letting data drive the decisions. And again, there's this gut or interpretation of that data, but having more facts is better. And I think that's where people get more relying on their gut because they have one fact. Or if you have 5 facts, the answer becomes a little more apparent. And then lastly, if you're the only one doing this and you start having meetings and you start talking about incrementality and data points that you have in your channel and the other channels don't have it, if they don't start to notice it, your boss probably will. Like, how are you looking at this data? How are you getting access to this data, right? And suddenly maybe that would be important if we looked at that data across all of our channels. And frankly, if I have an employee that's taking that type of initiative, the opportunity for promotion and very good reviews and raises is a little more evident, you know, because you have somebody who's really leaning forward and actually helping the company as opposed to just focused on their job. I think that's really key. I guess in closing, before we open up to questions, do you guys have anything you want to add kind of in this whole like incrementality and any advice for affiliate managers, publishers, or agencies?
Don't be afraid to look at the data. I think that we've been built, affiliate again has been built on relationships. And when you start to think of looking at the data, you're almost a little worried about what it's going to tell you, but it will tell you a story, and you can take that story and drive those results with your publishers.
Yeah, I'd reiterate, difficult is good. So if you guys are able to do something that's difficult that your competitors aren't going to do, it's an edge. and you're going to have a much better program, and like Todd said, probably get promoted.
I would just say live in the 80-20 principle, making sure that you're spending the bulk of your time on things that are going to drive the bulk of your demand. With a lot of data, you can find that you will spend and waste a lot of time looking at the data without actually taking action, or maybe you're diving into something that at the end of the day isn't really going to drive any demand for your company. And it's something that every day I make sure that I give myself a nice little reminder that it's making sure that I'm refocusing on what actually matters and what's actually going to drive demand at the end of the day. So data is important, but making sure that you're focusing on the important data in order to make your decisions.
Well, and I'm obviously working with you. I mean, I think in the beginning, there was a lot of evolution of the data, and you guys asking questions and trying to, understand, okay, why do we see this? Okay, well then we want to see this report instead. Mm-hmm. And so once you kind of get to a certain point, you're not like trying to come up with new things all the time. You've really kind of ironed it out, and you've got your dashboards, you've got your data that's important to you. Mm-hmm. And then maybe every now and then there's something new that you need or want to know, or something that comes up that doesn't make sense. And that's part of our role, or part of an agency's role, is to help interpret data as well, right? It's not always black and white. Like I said, data does not give you an answer, it just spits out facts. Those facts have to be interpreted to the goals in the business model. So we're happy to have some questions if anyone does. Are you passing a mic around, or am I just repeating the question? Okay, I'll repeat the question. Go ahead.
Can you go back to that slide of the cross-channel? My question is on
Okay, I'm going there.
So, as a retailer, Amazon is somewhere in this equation, usually either at the beginning or at the end, because I think yesterday one guy said one spot is 44% of all search is done on Amazon, product search at least initially. So, with the data, are you able to analyze that Amazon was the referral going through the process either as the initial one or as if the person did search on Google SEM and actually bought an Amazon instead of the affiliate? Are you able to track that and know where to put that, where the actual sale occurred or who actually started it?
Are you asking me?
Anybody.
As agency and also I'm sure that you guys are selling on Amazon as well too.
So as a marketplace, right? Amazon or eBay, wherever you're selling products.
Figure out where we're giving the credit to, not necessarily an affiliate, but as Amazon is an affiliate as well too. Are we able to track? Are you guys able to track it and actually, figure out at Amazon how important they were to the equation on the sale, either at the beginning or at the end?
So I guess the question was, can you look at the click stream and determine where Amazon is living within that click stream? We currently do not work with Amazon.
Do you do any marketplaces?
We do not, no.
I think the hard part is it's almost like if somehow, they're checking out through Amazon, so there's no tracking code there. It's Amazon's traffic going to Amazon's site, so it is hard to understand that. We can ingest data as a channel and say, okay, this was Amazon Marketplace sales, so they can see that, but it's hard because we don't see the conversion. So then we can't see the click path, right, even if they may have been looking on Cabela's, but then they went and found a Cabela's product in Amazon.
You're not able to attribute it back to Amazon at all. That's my big question.
Yeah.
I can't figure out myself as an advertiser. So
yeah.
I'm wondering if you guys have been able to do that either through Impact Radius or through others in general.
Yeah, when I worked at Apt Electronics, we did work in the Amazon Marketplace, and short answer is no. Amazon does not let you have access to much of anything at all. So it's very hard to tie the click stream when it goes in and out of Amazon.
It'd be like if you were a manufacturer and you had 3 retailers selling your products, right? You would not get to see the consumer. It's hard because they're 3 different businesses and buying their own media. So I don't think.
Well, I think it just to me, from a professional point of view, it's super critical to find that data because Amazon is such a big player, and to have them out of that equation or at the end, it just kind of throws off all the data you guys are talking about, and you're selling different channels.
Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah, that's the issue with
I think Amazon would, I don't even know, Amazon would have to capture some kind of click path data and allow it to get imported back to us. We might be able to do something like that. But, you know, I don't know how big of a priority that is for Amazon. It's kind of like, you know, Google, Amazon, they want to give you some information, but the simpler the better, because the more information they give you, the more questions you're going to ask, or you may value less what they're providing you, right? So I think there's always maybe a bit of an intention to not give you as much information as you would want. Or any other questions? Green shirt there, yeah.
Looking at that same slide, if you only have the affiliate at the 11 days and not the 1 day, but the paid search was pretty much at the program, the last click or last touch, would you still give that affiliate commission?
Most advertisers dedupe, which means they're really going to, at the point of sale, they're going to credit one channel, right? They don't want to share. Attribution does that after the fact, which doesn't benefit the affiliate. It does in the sense that they may get credited with some of the revenue, but they didn't get paid on it. But in the modeling and then coming back and saying, hey, Mr. Affiliate, you do participate in a lot of conversions that we don't pay you on, and that's valuable to us, and we can maybe even justify a higher commission on the conversions you do win. But I think most, in the old days, when there were less marketing channels, and actually even today there are advertisers that do not dedupe, and so in this case they would have paid, if that last affiliate wasn't there, they would have paid affiliate A. Or get this, let's say that affiliate is they're running on 2 networks, so this is link share and this is commission junction, and they end up paying them both. And you can look up the order ID and you'll see the order ID here, here, and here, and maybe even here. That's not good, because now we've got 4 times the revenue in our data that has to somehow get accounted for. That's where you start getting all the problems we're talking about. I think it's the most common practice. I think in the old days, the way they did it is they had their developer actually write pixel firing logic. So don't fire the affiliate one because it wasn't here, it was here, so don't fire it. But there was no transparency into it. Now people are doing it with tag management, where you can actually see the rules, test the rules, and it's more accurate. Because you tell a developer, this is what I need you to do in an email, and he goes, okay, I did it, and you can't test it, and he made a mistake, or she. So that's the danger. So I see it, I'd say it's probably, I mean, I would imagine you don't have any clients that aren't deduping, right? And you guys dedupe, of course, yeah.
All are deduping.
Okay.
Hi there. The very first, I think it was the very first slide you put up, it was talking about organizational challenges, cross-device, cross-channel, something else.
Should I go past it? Yeah.
I wanted to ask each of you about the organizational structure challenge. I see for us, this is probably actually the biggest boulder in our way for revamping our attribution model. And I would love to hear from anyone who's done this in the past year or two to understand how we got past the internal objections, or maybe before we even actually started working on the attribution, but individuals may have just been suspect, well, you know, this means my channel's going to lose, and therefore my budget's going to be cut, or I'm going to lose a job, or whatever. I would just love to understand how we would overcame some of those objections.
And before the agencies answer, the one thing I see a value of an agency providing is they're like Switzerland, right? They want to put the true picture that's good for the company, and they try to take the bias out. Although if they're doing paid search and affiliate, you could argue they have the bias for their channel. But honestly, I think that they are more objective and they are trying to show the truth. So, but you guys can keep going on that. But that's what I see consistently with agencies.
I mean, my recommendation would be to go a level higher, right? You want to go to the CMO level or the CEO and have that conversation. They care about the business. They're not, you know, siloed in a specific channel. So, you know, having somebody at the top who can make those decisions for what's the best for the company is really what you need to do. You're never going to win that argument, you know, with the paid search manager, you know, if you're the affiliate manager. So, like, you know, you should all want what's best for the company. That's how you're going to grow in your career and grow the company. But
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I've had some success with leveraging the cost effectiveness of implementing something like this. The return increases. You're able to invest smarter. So kind of using that as your baseline to start that conversation, I think kind of pulls a lot of weight.
And clarity. You know, if everybody is looking at all of this data as apples to apples to apples, okay, swallowing the pill, okay, my search wasn't getting credit as much as I wanted, I lost in that battle. But now moving forward, it's all even and everybody has parity, right? So now it's kind of reset. And if everybody can get used to that, and just having the clarity and the apples to apples and data that everybody can believe in, okay, everybody got a little, bruised in the transition, but that's fine, let's move forward. And that's where I think, like I said, agencies can really push, like this is really the only way you're gonna move to the next level. A lot of times, as Chris is saying, it's hard doing it internally because you're never gonna get rid of those politics unless somehow the CEO gets convinced, and it's usually by somebody in the organization who has their bias and they're convincing the CEO to maybe agree to their bias. So it is a never-ending probably.
I would say from the advertiser perspective, what I've been trying to do over the last 2 years since I've been at Cabela's is simplify affiliate marketing as much as possible and educate. So, and I'm communicating with, yes, I agree with the point of you want to go as high as you can to educate, but also educating everyone below at the same time. So we've had big sessions where I just explain it, and I mean, removing simple things like a publisher or affiliate, like those terms, nobody understands them. So breaking it down as simple as possible to make it so that they completely understand what you're talking about can take you a long way. It's like surface, I think everybody knows or they've heard of the affiliate channel, but nobody really understands what it is. So the more you can educate in a really simple fashion, the more you're gonna help them understand why affiliate deserves more credit or maybe less than what they're currently getting. So I think just simplify and educate is probably
speaking louder doesn't help. All right, we have time for one last question.
If I go to Chris, with your affiliate program, how do you guys decide what kind of cookie length you're going to do for the affiliates? I mean, I see, eBay's 24 hours, I think Amazon like one session, and some are 6 months, and from an advertiser as well too. We don't really. Well, I want to do it.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Just throw the dice and see, or.
No, we're definitely not throwing dice. I think I'm not going to be much help with this because we have an awesome data analytics team, a data sciences team is what we call them, that they actually will do a lot of the research for me, which is, I think that's something important to know as well, that really I'm a marketer first. Sure, I love analytics, I love diving into them, and a lot of times I probably shouldn't be diving in as deep as I am because I don't have that in-depth knowledge. So sometimes it's important to make sure that you know your strengths and your skills and knowing where to draw that line to say, okay, I need someone else to actually analyze and look at this. And so, yeah, I definitely leverage our data sciences team to determine what should our cookie window be, what do they feel is a reasonable range, and that's what we've gone with.
It's also launching it and testing it.
Sure.
And seeing where the conversion happens, time to buy, looking through impact radius and adjusting, always adjusting and communicating with publishers when you adjust, but just evolving your program.
So if everybody can make sure that they do, if you got the surveys, fill them out, it's always helpful. We really do look at that information. And I'd really like to thank you guys for coming up here and doing the panel, and thank you all for getting up early on the last day of the event, staying here this long. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.